Well, the Browns won the football game. I don't know how. I don't know how they did it, but we'll talk about how they managed to do it in just 1 second after I play this intro really. All right. Well, welcome to the Fanatical Elves post-game show. Once again, it's just me, but that's okay. Here we will be talking about the Packers game that just transpired a few hours ago, where the Browns won 13-10. Don't know what exactly happened in this game. It was a weird win, one I wasn't expecting, but Browns win. Browns are victorious for the first time this year against what I presume was one of the best teams in the NFL there as well. So, I mean, hey, this was a great game to watch. At the end, every part else of the game was kind of really bad. It was not a good game. I'm not going to take away from the Browns and what they did, but it was not a good game for the Browns this game. We got lucky. We had a lot of good stuff that happened in the end of the game. The blocked field goal and the huge kick from our kicker. I mean, a lot of stuff went our way at the end, but everywhere else, this did not feel like our game. Past obviously the defense, which was a very good game. That was a great defensive game. Offensively, yes, it was pretty poor, but let's just talk here now about, let's just do stats. So let's do team stats. I want to talk about the offensive and defensive, what we did here. The Browns were actually pretty even compared to the Packers. It was a very defensive battle between these two teams. So the Packers had 230 yards, the Browns had 221. So again, a very defensive-minded battle. The Packers had more passing yards, 149 to the Browns 125, but the Browns had more rushing yards, 96 to the Packers 81. So again, very defensive-sided battle between these two teams. It was a defensive battle between the Packers defense and the Browns defense, and obviously our defense came up on top because we won. But offensively, it was quite poor. Neither offense could do much of anything. I mean, we just both were very poor this game. So offensively, not much to write home about, but I guess we can talk about the stats here now, I guess. So let's just start with the passing. Jordan Love was average, I guess, 18 for 25 for 183 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs was 16 for 30, and Emmanuel Wilson 6 for 25. Again, rushing the ball, we were very good at defending them. That seems to be one of the best things we're at is defense, rushing. 81 total rushing yards, quite good right there for the Browns on the offense or the defensive line. So I think rushing defense is one of our best strong suits here. Secondary was a little iffy, it felt like at times, but I'm not going to complain about anything. Matthew Golden was the number 1 receiver, 4 for 52. Jacobs, 5 for 44. Tucker Kraft, 3 for 29. Romeo Dobbs, I think is how you say his name, 2 for 25. And so, again, very good on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we did let up a few sacks. Rashawn Gary had 2. Xavier McKinney had an interception. I think there was 1 more sack. No, I guess not. 2 sacks. Not great, but I mean, it's 2 sacks in the NFL like this. You stopped Micah Parsons from killing you, which was very impressive and very good as well. It was a very good, that final drive after the blocked kick to bring that to a point where you could score was pretty decent. It was very close because we only had we only had 2 seconds until the game ran out. Very good speed with that spike. And so that was great. But looking at it, just a poor game offensively, but we still won. So bad score. But let's look at the Brown stats real quick. Joe Flacco, another mid game. I mean, not really anything that impressive. Joe Flacco, 21 for 36, 142, and an interception. Quinshon Judkins, though, let's talk about him. I think he'd had a great game. 18 for 94 and a touchdown. That's 5.2 yards per play. That's a pretty good game. I mean, I'm honestly very impressed with what the Browns rushing attack did right there against a pretty decent defensive line in the Packers. I mean, they have one of the best defensive line. It's not amazing, but it is quite good. So again, it just felt like this. I think Quinshon Judkins will be one of the better running backs for the next few years. But yeah, I mean, it was a very, very good game there for the rushing. But let's talk about passing, I guess. Let's do receiving. 5 for 40 was David Njoku. Passing the ball wasn't great. I can't say it was incredible. Sorry, my grandparent is texting me. I have to respond. I'm not gonna not reply to them. But receiving wasn't great, but I'm not gonna take away from them because it was still an amazing. I'm not gonna take away because the quarterback didn't do great. It definitely felt like that was a bad quarterback game. And if the quarterback doesn't do good, obviously the receivers aren't going to do good. So I won't take away from them. Cedric Tillman, 3 for 26. Fannin, 3 for 25. Fannin wasn't great this game, but again, I mean, you only had 142 yards from Flacco, so not exactly something I'm going to complain about. He just didn't get as many opportunities. Jerry Jeudy, 1 for 17. Isaiah Bond, 2 for 16. Defensively, Carson Schweschinger had a sack. Pretty good. I was very impressed with him. He did decent. And then Grant Delpit, can't count him out. He had a really good interception right there, which set up Quinshon Judkins' tight end touchdown. So I was happy with what he did. I mean, that's what really set up this game to win. Myles Garrett, not amazing, 0.5 sacks. He still played quite well, and I was still very happy with how he played, but nothing like what he was having in the past few games. But Malik Collins had your most sacks, 1.5. Aiden Huntington had a sack, or half a sack, I mean. Alex Wright also had a sack. And then Mason Graham, rookie, he did pretty decently. He had half a sack as well. The Packers offensive line kind of didn't do what they were supposed to. They weren't great. And then the hero, our favorite player of all time, I'm ignoring the whole thing against the Bengals, Andre Schmidt. I don't actually know how to say his name. I should. Game-winning field goal, won us the game in the final seconds. Walk-off field goal. Very, 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 very exciting to watch. Got to watch that live. Just seeing that happen, you know, I was worried. I can't lie. I was worried he was going to miss like he did in Cincinnati, but he learned, kicked a game-winning field goal. I think that's going to earn him some points in the locker room. Game-winning field goal, what was it, 55 yards? I think it was 55. I mean, shout out to him, man. That was an amazing kick from him. I mean, it was down the middle. Wasn't even a question if that was going to go in. So, great game from him. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of interviews about him in the next few days, just asking the moment and stuff. So, very, very awesome to see that. And so, great game from the defense. And I think this is a trend because, again, I mean, this defense just killed them. I mean, it was a very defensive-minded game, like I said, but, I mean, it was just so impressive. You had the fumble from Josh Jacobs, which didn't end up becoming a fumble all the way because it was overturned. But, I mean, you saw what this defense did. I mean, you let up only about 230 yards, 2 scores. This defense, again, this is one of the best defenses in the league. I'm going to tell you now, the defense won this game. This was a fully defensive one game. Your offense laid an absolute goose egg this whole game. You got lucky. This defense won your game. The offense did nothing. I mean, the offense did not score until the fourth quarter. And when they did score, yes, it came up to the 13 points that we needed in the fourth quarter to win. This offense sucked. And it's unfortunate to say because if this offense was good, we would be one of the best teams in the league. And I have little to no doubt about that with just how awesome our defense has been. And so you come across with I mean, like they say, defense wins championships. And while I think in modern NFL, it's much more of a tandem between the two, right? Offense and defense. The defense won you this game. You won because the defense played a absolute great game against the Packers. That's the only reason you won. And I'm not taking away from the offense. They still came in when they had to and won. But the defense kept you in this game. The defense brought you to a chance where you can win. The offense did what they had to, but the defense won you this game. And I think this game cements the Browns as the number one team in the league in terms of defense. I mean, sure, you look at what the Ravens did to us, right? 41 points. But after the third quarter, I really don't blame them as much for the points. Yes, they still exist. Yes, you have to look at that and say, this still happened. But this was a very, very great defensive game. And I think this cements the Browns as the best team in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. And if this offense could figure something out, if we could just figure something out, be top 15, I think this team would be one of the best in the league. But our offense is like the 31st offense in the league. It just can't start anything. And I think that's what's losing you these games is your offense just can't do anything. And it's unfortunate, but it's what we have. And so I guess we'll talk here really quickly about the rest of the team stats. We only let up 2 sacks, which I found very impressive. There was a lot of penalties. There was 22 total penalties. That's something we need to work on. Packers were 14 penalties for 75 yards. I think that's going to be told. I think the coaches are going to be like, all right, guys, you can't have 14 penalties in a game. That's unacceptable. You can't do that. Browns had 8 for 90 in terms of penalties. Again, hopefully Stefanski preaches penalties. That's unacceptable. You can't do that. In a game this close, penalties like that can lose you the game, but you got lucky with some of the things that happened. Interception-wise, it was tied 1-1. Again, Packers had that fumble that didn't end up counting because he was down. So you could say 1.5 turnovers because you basically had a turnover that just didn't count, but it didn't count, so it's not 1.5. It's just 1. But I mean, it was decent not letting up these kind of turnovers. Obviously, Flacco had that interception. I'm not surprised. It's not all too uncommon for a team to have at least an interception. That's kind of the norm sometimes with these mid teams. But the Packers didn't look good this game. I mean, I'm going to be honest. The Packers didn't look very good. Their defense looked great, right? I think the defense is top 5 for the Packers, but their offense just... Now, I don't know if this was if the offensive performance was subject to the performance of the offense or just how good the Browns defense was. I think there's definitely a distinction there because, I mean, looking at it, our defense played amazing. Or was this a bad game from the Packers offense? And until you can pinpoint that, it's very hard to tell, right? So, I mean, looking at how the team performed, I do believe this was a defensive masterclass and that the Packers offense isn't that bad. My thing isn't showing me. There you go. Like I said, I don't think the offense for the Packers is that bad. I just think our defense is that good. I mean, that was an absolute amazing game from our defense. And the Packers just couldn't get anything going. I mean, it was they almost had 13 points, but again, we blocked the field goal and caught. That was an amazing sequence, by the way. Getting the fumble and then blocking the field goal. I mean, that was very impressive. The defense has shown out in the red zone. I mean, they've been amazing in these situations where they're at the 6, the 4, right? Really close to the end zone. Only like 12 feet away from the end zone line. And they've stopped them. 3 downs. First down, second down, third down. They stop them every time. It's super impressive what this defense has done. But I see what people are talking about, though, with this feels like another waste. And I want to touch on that for a moment because I see what they're talking about. It was a very unfortunate It definitely feels like this is going to be another waste for the team of the defense, because we had this happen a while ago, a few years ago, where the defense was amazing and the offense just couldn't put it together. And I think we're going to experience that again this year. I think the offense is going to be so poor, while the defense is going to be one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. And we're wasting. Now, I don't know if there's a solution. There probably isn't, but it just sucks seeing these absolutely stellar defenses that are championship caliber, right? I mean, these are this is a championship caliber defense. We just don't have a championship caliber offense. And that's the problem, is the offense can't put it together. Because this defense, in these 3 games I've seen, is the best defense in the NFL. We had a bad game against the Ravens. I don't blame that all on them, because the offense couldn't do anything in the Ravens game. They kept us in the Ravens game. The defense kept us in the Ravens game for almost the entire game, right? It was 10-20. That's all at 2 scores. In the NFL, modern NFL, 2 scores is not insurmountable at all. And the Bengals game, right? We could have won that game. We should have won that game. That was a bad game from the kicker, and he obviously has focused and fixed that. But we could have won that game, right? You held what was on paper one of the best offenses in the league to 17 points. Then in the Ravens game, the defense kept you in the game for almost all 4 quarters. And then now in the Packers game, you hold the Packers offense to 10 points. 10. That's 2 hands. That's amazing. And it just is super unfortunate seeing what this absolutely amazing defense is doing and not being able to capitalize on it. Now, again, it's only 2 losses, right? You can win 9 more games. You go 10-6, 10-7. You make the playoffs, and maybe you work something out there. I'm not saying that the Browns are done for, but it does feel like as we can, and this inspires a lot of confidence in me. Well, it inspires some, because, again, like I said, this offense just, I don't know. I'll talk about the offense actually in just 1 second. I don't know if we do ads here. I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to just do the ads really quickly, and then I'll talk about the offense for a brief moment, and then we'll wrap up here. So Browns win, before we go into ads, Brown win 13-10. And we're back here on the Browns post-game show, where the Browns' stellar victory against the odds here, beating the Packers 13-10. And like I said before we headed off to ads, I want to talk about the offense for a minute. I first off, let me hit my first point. Is there a solution? Question mark, right? I don't know. I don't think there is. If I had to go off a simple gut reaction, I don't think there's a solution to this offense. Is firing the coach going to fix it? Is firing the GM going to fix it? Is starting Dylan Gabriel's going to fix it? Who knows, right? I don't think there is a solution at this moment in time to fixing the offense. Now, maybe Flacco locks in and he throws and he realizes, hold on, I see what this defense does. I'm going to compliment them and get some stuff done. Then maybe he locks in and just becomes Flacco mania again, or maybe not. But solution-wise, I don't know what the solution would be. If the solution would be fixing the coach, right? Maybe you fire Stefanski. I don't know. Maybe you fire our GM. Maybe you, right? There's so many paths you can take. It doesn't feel like there is any one solution where you can be like, oh yeah, just do this and you're good. It feels like there's so many different paths, right? Of, do I want to go this way, this way, this way? Maybe all of them are necessary. So that's kind of my assumption. Point number 2 is, can we expect improvement over the next few weeks? Again, I don't know. I mean, it feels like, yeah, I think this offense could improve, right? Let me check what the Browns play, who they play next. They could play the Lions, right? So Lions defense hasn't been as stellar, right? I mean, it's funny. You play all of the NFC North teams. I think you play the Vikings after the Lions too. But you need to do the same thing, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, huh? wonder if that's like a theme with the NFL as you play all the um like a three of this team or something. I don't know. But point number two, can we expect them to get better? I'd say maybe. I think it's team dependent. I think it's like the Lions maybe. I think it's very team dependent on if we can get better, but it's really hard to predict. And then my final point before we wrap it up here on the post game show for the offense is Flacco done? And I know some people, I know this is probably early to say, and I say no. I say Flacco starts the Lions game. Almost guaranteed. Flacco starts the Lions game. If he does decently, he starts more games. If he does poor, I think he still starts. I think after this game, the reasonable end of his starting time is Browns Dolphins, October 19th. I think October 19th against the Dolphins is the next opportunity for him to leave if he does poor. Now, if he does good, then it doesn't matter. But if he does badly, I think he's going to be benched against the Dolphins. So that's 3 more games if he does badly. If he does good, obviously it doesn't matter. But that's really all I have for you guys. So I hope you all enjoyed this post-game show. I hope you all enjoyed the game. I mean, that was an amazing game to watch, an amazing game to see. So hopefully you all enjoyed. I'll talk about this game Wednesday in my own podcast, Browns Breakdowns. Go check that out. I assume everyone here on the Fanatical Elves Network, which is up in this corner right here where my hand is, right here. If you check out all their stuff, John will have one, Steve will have one. All of our partners here on the program will have Jarrell, Ethan. You're going to have a lot of shows to watch. So watch all of them, watch me. But thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Go Browns. Browns win Browns win 13-10 over the Packers in an absolutely stellar defensive game. So I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.